Hi everybody, Hellcrex here, and welcome to episode 179 of Mercenary Thoughts from the Inner Sphere. And today we're going to be discussing the Crusader. And it's, there's a couple, maybe one or two different variants of this thing. Not like a bushel basket load of them. Well, today we're going to be discussing, basically it's the 4D, which is a field modification kit that you can use on your different Crusaders that you have out there on the market, or if you're fought your way through the Succession Wars or the 3025 plus era where you built up and you probably have a Crusader or two or three or four in your outfit, and it's like, hey, they're starting to put out these refit kits. Like, well, this is going to be looking at some of the stuff that comes in that refit kit. All right, the 4D or 4 Delta is basically, you still get your 460 mech. You have 13, well, when you put the kit on it, basically you upgrade you to 13 single heat sinks. You have 2 LRM-15s with a ton of ammo for each, in each left and right torso, and obviously you got the launchers in each arm. You have in each leg, you have the Streak 2 system with ammo is parked in, was it center torso, I believe? Yes. Why you'd put it there, I don't know, but it is. And then you have, is it case? I think it's, case and both. Well, it doesn't. This one doesn't have a case in it. But then you have 2 medium pulse lasers in each arm. So basically, you're running around with all your weapons in left and right arm, and then you have the 2 streak systems in one in each leg. Overall, it's not a bad mech when it comes to being a good fire support mech for a short period of time. You're going to fire for 8 turns and then you go click. You know, you're carrying around a lot of tonnage wrapped up in your 2 launchers, but you don't have a lot of ammo to go with it. And personally, it's like this refit kit does not address that, you know, in my opinion. So it's something that could have been made a little better. But, you know, it's one of those mechs where typically I've used it many times. Like I said, it's pretty much a fire support mech. And then, to be honest, with the short range firepower that it has up close, you got to get in within typically 6 hexes or less, then you're able to use those pulse lasers. And by that time, in most of my experience has been, by the time you get within range of those pulse lasers, your LRM-15s are already dry or almost dry. So it's like you got a couple more turns of firing going on, and then you're done with them. And then you're up punching, kicking. Most likely, that if you're going to use your pulse laser, obviously you're going to be kicking if you can get close enough. So that's kind of my experience with this mech. Now, there are some things that could have been done better. You know, it's like if you're putting out a refit kit, you know, something like this. I'm not sure why it doesn't include the ferrofibrous armor upgrade along with it. Personally, I'm more inclined to think about not using the pulse lasers. I'd rather have some medium lasers and have some extra tonnage to either throw at the another ton of ammo for my launchers, you know, go that route. There's some things you think about. Now, let's just say you do look at this thing and it's like, okay, put ferrofibrous on this thing. That frees up basically a ton right there, and then you could, you know, if you go that route, then you got maximum armor already on this mech. And then if you had access to double heat sinks, you go with double heat sinks on this thing. It doesn't necessarily need 13 double heat sinks. I'd say there's some tonnage right there that you can play with to add on more weapons, more ammo, you know, case, etc. So the big thing right there is this is a mech that definitely needs case. Now there's some of the other versions that, you know, the refit kit, was it the 4BRE kit, refit kit, does contain double heat sinks and case for each torso. So a little bit farther down the line, they do address the fact that, yeah, I think we need case, because, you know, it's one of those mechs where you're running around with way too many tons of ammo just parked out there in the open, and all it takes is a good hit and you're toast. All right. So one of the things I look at is, if you go with double heat sinks, let's say start with 10 and go from there. And if you upgrade one of the launchers, 15 launchers with another ton of ammo, and that leaves you an extra ton left over. Now, something to think about is either downgrading the pulse lasers to medium lasers, because medium lasers are most common thing you're going to find in inner sphere, and it's going to be easy to do that instead of having the pulse lasers. You know, you say, hey, I'd rather sell these off to some group that might want them, versus, or put it on a like a scout or something that's going to be moving fast, getting around. You know, if you have your jumping mechs that are moving around a lot, you know, like your spiders and something, you might think about putting those on, you know, pulse lasers on something like that. Now, the other thing to think about is the streak twos. Streak twos are nice if they lock. You got 1 ton of ammo with it, so if they lock, they fire. If they don't, you know, you don't have to worry about creating any heat from them. So something to think about maybe is, here you got some options. All right, something to think about is, if you want to keep them SRM2s, you could downgrade them from streaks to just standard SRMs, and then that extra ton that you gain from that is something you might think about adding another ton of ammo. So you can either run them as just fire and forget type of weapon systems. They fired, or they don't hit or not, that's no big deal. And then that extra ton could be tossed towards inferno ammo for infernal missiles. So you got some options there. So if you see some type of infantry, you can hit them with infernos. If you see vehicles, you can hit them with infernos, and possibly go that route. Or, you know, it gives you some options of burning stuff down. So that is something to think about when it comes to this. Overall, the 4D isn't a great mech. It's not bad in certain aspects, but it's not great. It's not something you're going to write home about and just say, hey, everybody must have one of these. No, it's not. It's not going to be one of those mechs. Now, there are a few other options out there. We have the 4K, which moves 2 heat sinks and replaces 2 medium lasers with pulse lasers. This seems to be the common thing, is like replacing your medium lasers with pulse lasers. I'm not necessarily a big fan of inner sphere pulse lasers unless you got something that's really mobile that can get around and get in. You know, a pulse laser to me is I'd rather have something that has to either jump or run all the time. You know, where it can actually get into range quickly. Otherwise, to me, it's kind of a lot of times you're just wasting tonnage on, let's say, your heavies and assault mechs, because by the time they do get close, you know, you've already hammered whatever your target's pretty hard already. Now, the 4K, or not the 4K, but the 5K, another house created, came out in 3063. This is, you know, we're talking 13 years down the line from the 3050 book. This one does use Indo-Steel, which there was the Royal Battlemech, I believe, version for the Star League Defense Force that used Indosteel on their chassis. So that's a great thing. Yeah, hey, finally somebody's putting Indosteel on these things. That's, a great addition. Anytime you can take Indosteel over ferrofibers, do it, because that's extra tons you can play with. But this thing's backed up by an XL engine, so you got a 4.6 mech that has an XL, so that's like you're just asking for it to die quickly, and that's pretty much how it's going to work. And it has 2 MRM-30 launchers in each arm, and secondary weapons have 2 medium lasers and then 2 medium pulse lasers in the center torso. And it does have a C3 slave. Now the C3 slave is handy when it comes to the long range launchers, because then you have your scout out front that is decreasing your range, so you can sit back at range and hopefully no one's going to bother you with your XL engine mech, and so you can shoot equivalent of either medium or short range. That's a good deal, but you also have to worry about those XLs being taken out quickly. This mech has case, okay, because you got 4 tons of ammo on board with the case. Case is always great. Anytime you can put case on your mech, if you're carrying an ammo mech, great. But when you're talking about an XL engine mech, yeah, if you take the torso out, the mech doesn't completely blow up into 1,000 bits, but you still have a dead mech. And it does carry 11 double heat sinks and armor, 12 tons. Alright, the 5M, this is the Free Worlds League version. It came out in 3049. This one does, once again, uses 13 double heat sinks, has an XL engine. I like the decide, hey, we're going to put XLs on this. Great. Not. But the double heat sinks, good idea. It does have jump jets, so we're talking a 464 mech, which I don't understand. If you're going to put XLs on something, you might as well see if you can pump up its speed to a 5.8 maybe. And then it has the 2 LRM-15 launchers, has 2 medium lasers, 2 streak 2 launchers, and it has a flamer and a machine gun in the arm. And an anti-missile system. Now, personally, I'd rather carry around flamers than machine guns. Given the choice, to me, if if you have a machine gun and a half-ton ammo, that's still 1 ton. So you might as well just go with a flamer, then not worry about the ammo. And that's the way I always look at it. And it becomes versatile, so you can either do heat damage or heat something up, or just post toasty your infantry that gets near you. Alright, so then we have the 5S. This is a production model upgrade for the Crusader, utilizing Star League equipment from TharkCAD for the FedCom Defense Force. This is it's basically a 3R, removes the machine guns. It has double heat sinks in case for the missiles, and a flamer in the right arm. So basically, yeah, they say, hey, let's not have to worry about machine guns, we're going to put a flamer in. Makes sense to me. I like the machine. Let me see if I can bring this one up real quick. 5S, where is it at? There it is. 5S. Still, this one does have 3 tons. No, it doesn't. Sorry. Anyway, my computer's not working very well, so it's not wanting to bring up the mech. There we go. Now it's like running slow. Anyway. No, I did not want the 7. Well, the 7L is right in front of me. That has 2. There we go. 5S. Well, it still only has 2 tons of ammo for the LRM-15. It has the flamer in the right arm, a medium laser in the right left arm, and it still has the SRM-6 with a ton of ammo in each leg. So it does not have any type of Indo-steel or ferrofibers. Now, it's one of those mechs where if you did put ferrofibers on it, you could probably max out the armor on it real quick. That would be one of the... Now, if you had access to that one, and you got the 10 double heat sinks on the board, that would be, if you had access to a 5S, that would be something I would do, is just ferrofibers, upgrade the armor. That'd be the quickest way to look at it. Okay, then we got the 6M. This came out in 3074. It carries 2 Streak 4 launchers in the legs, and it has a light PPC and an MML7. And they reduced the speed, but had jump jets. So you're looking at a 353. Yeah, wow, not so great. No. I've never been a fan of slowing down my heavies. I can understand why Intersphere assault mechs are usually running as a 3.5 mover, because you can throw a ton of equipment on them, but slowing down your medium and heavy mechs, no, it's not a smart thing to do. And the 7L, this came out in 3067, uses stealth armor. Okay. It has double heat sinks, has 2 LRM launchers, 15 launchers, 2 Streak 4 launchers, 2 ER medium lasers, and a Guardian ECM. So, work in conjunction. And then they slowed the thing down. Alright, so you're now looking at still a 3.5 mover. Okay. With jump jet, 3.53. Once again, we're back into this whole concept of slowing down a mech so you can put more stuff on it like that. You don't do that to your medium and heavy mechs, or even... Alright, then we got the 7 Whiskey or 7W, came out in 3071. This has 2 MML9 launchers and 2 MML5 launchers, capable of firing LRM and SRM ammo. And it has Artemis on board for accuracy, and it carries a XL engine and an XL gyro, so saving tonnage that way with ferrofibers armor in case. Once again, we're getting back into those XL engines, and I've probably preaching to the choir when it comes to talking about XL engines. And then we got the 8L. This came out in 3083. This has 2 plasma rifles and ER medium lasers and MML7 launchers. And then we have a top speed has been increased. Oh, because now we got an XL engine on board and Indo-steel. They decide to speed it up. Hey, okay, now it's like, if you're going to put an XL in, at least speed it up. Okay? Make it a little faster and try to figure out how to make it work. Is a 5.8 65-ton mech. Hey, I'd rather use that with XL engines than running around with something that's a 4.6 with XL engines. At least I can get one more pip of defense possibly out of that movement. And then we have the 8S. Came out in 3066. The 8S Crusader is built around the Indo-steel chassis, 2 thumbs up. And once again, we've got the XL engines, 2 thumbs down. Carries 2 LRM 10 launchers, 2 medium lasers, and it has a heavy Gauss rifle, giving it some close to medium range firepower. Heavy Gauss rifle. Not so much of a fan of the heavy Gauss rifles myself. Personally, I'd rather just have the Gauss rifle instead of a heavy Gauss rifle. You get all the fun stuff that comes with the heavy Gauss rifle. But, people like what they like. So if you got a really good pilot and you like to have your mech die quickly because of XL engines, and you want to get in there and punch somebody hard with that heavy Gauss rifle, hey, more power to you. Make it work. It might fit your play style. That's the thing, is that everybody has their play style and what they like. And if you can make it work, you know, more power to you. Let's see here. What else? We're up to that 20-minute mark. So I think we're going to call it right there when it comes to the Crusader. I think that if you take the standard Succession War mech and just put XL engines on it, fair fireburst, and play around with your weapon loadout a little bit, because you know it does carry a large selection of weapon systems on board, you might be able to make this thing work pretty good for you. And there's nothing to say that it won't. And I like the Crusader, but it has to be something that doesn't carry around XL engines. And I like to have some weapon systems that at least can do some damage in several range bands and interact with each other. And if you can bounce it together with some double heat sinks, hey, that's the great thing about the new tech that pops up. Alright everybody, that's it. Like and subscribe, share with all your friends, and we'll see you in the next one. Hellcrex out.